We all come into this world as blank slates. We have no knowledge of how the world works or what is going to come of our future. We are taught by the people around us societal skills as well as some rules that will help us maintain a path for our future. But what they don't teach us is who we actually are. They teach us what everyone else tells us we should be. As you get older, you start to have your own independent thoughts. You start to have your own independent hobbies, activities you enjoy doing, and even people you like to hang around. But again, that is not something that is told to us. It's something that we as individuals decide for ourselves. Now, some of you might have that hobby that came to mind, or that friend group that came to mind, or the goals for your future that came to mind. We are all unique in that the goals and the ways we tend to spend our lives is entirely unique to our own life. But because of that, a question for a lot of people arises, and that question is, who are we really? We get told by the people around us how to act. We tend to pick up hobbies that people around us are interested in order to fit in. And somewhere along the way, we all lose track of who we really are. Now, as you get older, you might pick up new hobbies, you might try new things, you might start reading more books, you might start going on more hikes. But these are all activities that you are trying to do in order to answer that question of who you really are. Now, there are people that go their entire lives and never answer that question. And as they get older, they start to give up on the curiosity of who they really are. They stop trying those new hobbies, they stop visiting those new places, and when it comes down to it, they end up just accepting that they might not know who they really are. Now, if you're anything like me and you're watching this video because you don't know quite exactly who you are yet, the one thing I want to make sure you understand is to never stop trying. Never stop trying to figure out who you really are. That comes with trying new things. That comes with going out and exploring new places. It comes with trying a new activity or setting a new goal for yourself. And as you go through those new activities, as you achieve those new goals, you start to uncover little bits about yourself, what you enjoy to do more than anything else. And so I feel like everyone has that thing deep down, that once they find out what it is, they will realize that that's who they are. They will realize that that's what they enjoy doing. They will realize that this is why they were brought into this world. And that thing, whatever it may be, is going to be our answer to the question of who we really are. Now, if you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Owen LeBay, and I'm just a 22-year-old who is trying to answer that question of who I really am. Now, over the years, I have tried things, and I like to think of myself as very fortunate to believe that I've gotten closer to answering that question. When I was 17 years old, I was very overweight, and one of the first things I tried and one of the first goals I set for myself was to be happy in my own body. And that came with me going to the gym. And that developed into a hobby of going to the gym. In fact, I surpassed my goal of losing all of that weight, and I continued going to the gym. I loved going to the gym. It was something that really made me feel like no matter what was going on in my life, that was going to be something that will get done every single day. For a long time, I thought that that was my answer to the question. I thought that working out and being into the gym was my answer to the question of who I really am. And a lot of people gave me criticism for that. A lot of people said you need to do other things than the gym. And in the grand scheme of things, if you find your answer to that question, if you believe that you have found the answer to the question of who you really are, do not listen to other people when they say that that isn't the right answer, because we all have our own unique answers to the question. Now, those people might have been right in my situation, and I really do love the gym, and I really do love bodybuilding, and I believe that it is a large factor of who I really am. But it might not be the entire picture, and something that I'm trying to do and trying to improve on is setting new goals for myself. Try different things, try new things, and maybe see if those can also be incorporated into the question of who I really am. Now, I'm very confident, like I was in the past, that bodybuilding and the gym is going to take up a large portion of that, and that has not changed. I really do believe that I've been fortunate enough to find that aspect of the question. For you, you might not have any aspect of the question. You might be watching this video and feel like you don't even know where to start when it comes to answering the question of who you really are. And it is very easy to feel lost in this world full of external media, external validation, where you go on social media and you see everyone else living their lives or presenting to the world that they are living their lives in the most perfect manner. I want you to understand that we are all not very different. Like I said, we come into this world as blank slates. We are told by people around us how society works, how we should formulate our lives. But in the end of the day, we are all unique people with unique goals. If you see someone who is doing an amazing job at whatever goal they have, and you feel like you are missing out on life and you are behind in life, that is not true, because your goal or who you are meant to be could be in the future. It could be something that you have to wait a little bit longer for. Like I was saying, in this world of everyone displaying how amazing their life is going, and if you feel like you are completely lost, or if you feel like you are behind, I want you to simplify the whole equation. Go back to this question that I've brought up of who you really are. What are things you enjoy doing? What are things that if someone had a differing opinion on this topic, you wouldn't care? You would just continue doing it. For me, like I said, that is the gym. If something in the future came out that the gym was actually really bad for you, or if my life got so busy that I would feel like I didn't have time to do anything else for myself, the gym would still be a part of my life. I would still make it a part of my life, because it is, like I said, most of the answer to the question of who I really am. Like I said, you might be watching this video and not know where to start. You might be watching this video and feel like you are completely lost. And the one thing I want to let you guys know is to just try those new things. Get started with basic things. Go out to restaurants alone, or go try a new movie out in the movie theaters. Go on a walk outside. Try reading a new book. Just try different things that you hear other people say they enjoy, and see if you like it for yourself. Because in the end of the day, there are millions of things in this world that you could do, or that you could enjoy doing. But in order to find the answer to the question of who you really are, you need to try things. You need to go out there and try different things as constantly as you can. And another big thing is setting goals for yourself. You might be able to read that next book or go out and see that movie, but in the end of the day, those are just activities that are very short-lived. If you set goals for yourself for a longer timeline, if you set goals for yourself that when you look back on who you are today and who you will be when you complete the goal, you are proud, you feel like you have achieved something, then that is going to help you figure out more about yourself. again, to relate it to how I lost all the weight and got in the best shape of my life, the person who I am today versus the person who I was when I started working out are completely different people, and I have learned so much about myself purely from the aspect of achieving that goal, of going through the journey and achieving the weight loss that I set out to from day one. But remember, we are all different human beings. We all have different interests, and we all have different answers to the question of who you really are. So the one thing I want to leave you guys with is to not get discouraged. If you try multiple different things and you really don't feel like any of them are your answer to the question of who you really are, just keep trying. Do not get discouraged, because like I said, there's so many different aspects to life, and it is very hard to truly find that answer to the question. There are people that give up, get discouraged, and never answer the question, and then they live out the rest of their lives, and a lot of them say that it's just meaningless at that point. You can see it in their eyes. When you meet someone and you can tell in their eyes that they have lost that meaning for life, they've lost the ambition of searching for who they are, and they've just accepted the fact that they are going to work in order to live, and then they will die. That is discouraging in itself. And so in order to not end up like that, no matter how old you are, if you're watching this video, the one thing I want to leave you with is to not get discouraged, because we all have our own answer to that question, and whether or not you find it is completely in your own hands. Do not give up, and just try and answer that question the best you can, because I promise you, as life gets clearer, as you discover more things about yourself, your life just becomes better in all aspects. You feel more enjoyment in the things you're doing. You feel like you're embracing who you really are when you do that hobby or do that activity or set that goal for yourself. You feel like you are progressing as a person, and life is far too long for us to not find out who we really are. You always hear people say that life is too short and you only live once, but in reality, life is a long time in your perspective. Living for 85 years, for example, feels like a long time if you are not going to put in the effort to actually find out who you are. If you imagine going through all 85 of those years and you just go through the motions the whole time, you don't set out new goals for yourself, you don't try new things, you just do what society wants you to do, then that life is completely meaningless and you wasted it essentially. So do not get discouraged. Try and answer that question for yourself, and I'm going to continue to try and answer the rest of that question as best that I can, because the whole reason for this channel, the whole reason for this video is to find a group of people that are willing to find the answer to that question. It's to find a group of people that are willing to better themselves in some way, shape, or form every single day. So if that sounds like you and you want to join me for my journey to improve myself in some way, shape, or form every single day, then feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because there are new videos every single week, and you guys are going to follow me through my journey, because in the end of the day, I haven't experienced everything in life, and neither have you. And so if we can stick together and just try and find our own meanings for life together, it's going to make people not get discouraged, and it will help people live meaningful lives. The last thing we all want is to live a life where we are on our deathbed, and even though we have family around us, even if we have friends around us when we go, we will know deep down if that was a life worth living. So if you want to live a life worth living, don't get discouraged, and find the answer to the question of who you really are deep down. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have any ideas for future videos, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'd be more than happy to make a video on any topic you guys are interested in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and keep grinding, keep working hard towards your goals, and make people remember your name. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.